You know, we talk so much about energy now. Protect your energy, guard your peace, don't let people drain you. And even though these ideas have become really popular, most of us were never actually taught what they mean on a spiritual level, or why energy protection is not just an optional self-care habit, but a deeply sacred part of your walk with God. So today, I want to talk to you like someone who knows what it feels like to give too much, feel too much, and wonder why your heart seems to get bruised more easily than other people's. Because if you're here, listening to a message like this, you're probably someone who loves deeply. You sense things. You notice shifts in the room that no one else sees. You pick up on tension before it's spoken. You carry hearts that aren't yours. And maybe, just maybe, you've spent years thinking something was wrong with you. But here's the truth that Jesus taught, in ways most people never realized. Your sensitivity is not a weakness. It is evidence that you were created for spiritual perception. But perception comes with responsibility. Jesus warned his disciples, "Be wise as serpents and innocent as doves." That wasn't poetry. That was a survival instruction. He was saying, keep your heart open, but learn to see what moves toward your soul and what moves against it. That is energy discernment. When you don't protect your energy, you start to confuse spiritual attack with personal failure. You start thinking, why am I so tired? Why do I feel anxious around this person? Why do I shut down in certain conversations? And instead of recognizing it as energy misalignment, you take it as a character flaw. But your body feels what your spirit can't put into words yet. And exhaustion, irritation, confusion, or even sudden sadness, these aren't always emotions. Sometimes they're signals. You were built with a spiritual nervous system, and God speaks through it. Think about Jesus for a moment. He withdrew constantly, not because he was antisocial or tired of people, but because his energy was continually interacting with the energies of everyone around him. He felt people's intentions before they spoke. Remember the woman who touched his cloak? He said, "I felt power, leave me." That sentence alone is an entire teaching on energy exchange. He was showing us, you do not interact with the world only physically, you interact energetically. And if you never learn how to protect that exchange, you slowly lose the clarity God has been trying to give you. Have you ever noticed how your intuition feels loud when you're alone, but gets quiet when you're surrounded by chaos? That isn't coincidence. When you're overstimulated by people, drama, noise, or emotional environments, your energy becomes entangled with things that don't belong to you. And when your energy is tangled, your discernment drops. You can't feel what God is saying because you're too busy feeling everything else. That's why energy protection is necessary. Not because the world is evil, not because people are bad, but because you are sensitive in a way that carries purpose. Some people's hearts were built like stone walls. Yours was built like an ancient cathedral, open, echoing, resonant. When something enters it, you feel it ring through your entire chest. And that sensitivity allows you to love deeply, pray deeply, perceive deeply, but it also means you absorb what others project. And that's where many of your wounds began. Not because you're weak, but because no one taught you how to close the gate. I want you to imagine this for a moment. Your energy is like a garden. God planted things there: peace, clarity, intuition, identity. And when he wants to speak to you, he doesn't shout, he whispers in that garden. But if you never close the gate, people wander in carelessly. They leave their opinions, they drag their unresolved pain across the soil, they plant doubts, they pick your fruit and offer nothing in return. And over time, you forget what parts of your life are actually yours. Protecting your energy means you finally start closing that gate. And that doesn't mean you shut people out. It means you stop granting access where there is no accountability. It means you stop mistaking emotional intensity for spiritual assignment. It means you practice discernment, the spiritual kind, the Jesus kind, not judgment, but clarity. You begin recognizing the difference between someone who draws you closer to God and someone who drains you away from yourself. What most people don't realize is that emotional exhaustion is spiritual communication. When something repeatedly pulls you out of peace, That disruption is a message. When someone consistently leaves you confused, that confusion is revelation. When a space feels heavy every time you walk in, your spirit is alerting you to misalignment. We tend to ignore the body because we were taught to trust logic over intuition. But God works through all of it. Your discomfort is not random. Your anxiety around certain people isn't random. Your shrinking energy in certain conversations isn't a personality issue. It's discernment trying to break through the noise. Jesus was never vague about energy. Guard your heart, he said, for everything you do flows from it. That's not metaphorical. That's energetic law. Everything you create, speak, choose, and attract flows from the state of your inner world. And when your energy is unguarded, your entire life becomes reactive instead of aligned. So how do you protect your energy? You start by listening to what drains you and believing it the first time. You practice saying no without guilt. You move slower. You observe people instead of immediately absorbing them. You stop explaining your boundaries. You stop giving holy things, your time, your heart, your peace, to people who treat them like they're ordinary. You begin to realize that protecting your energy is not selfish, it is stewardship. Because when your energy is guarded, your spirit wakes up. You hear God more clearly. You feel intuition rise again. You stop chasing reassurance from others and start feeling anchored within yourself. Your decisions become stronger. Your relationships become healthier. And you finally understand why Jesus withdrew to pray. He wasn't escaping people. He was realigning his energy so he could stay connected to his Father. You can't pour from an empty cup, but you also can't discern from an entangled one. Protecting your energy untangles you from what God never asked you to carry. And once you're untangled, your clarity becomes undeniable. Your calling becomes clearer. Your relationships become more honest, and your spirit becomes stronger. So maybe this message isn't random. Maybe you've been tired lately. Maybe you've been stretched thin emotionally. Maybe you've been trying to stay strong in an environment that weakens you. Maybe you've been feeling God whisper, "Come away with me for a while." Not to punish you, not to isolate you, but to restore you. Because your energy isn't just your mood. It's your connection point to the divine. It's the tuning fork through which you hear God. And when it's distorted, you mistake noise for guidance. But when your energy is protected, you become a clear vessel again. And something inside you, something ancient, something holy, finally clicks into place. You aren't meant to navigate life drained. You aren't meant to absorb every emotion around you. You aren't meant to carry more than your share. You are meant to live with spiritual clarity, emotional sovereignty, and the grounded peace of someone who knows who they belong to. So maybe the question now is not, how do I protect my energy? But, what happens in my life once I finally do? Because the answer is simple. Everything changes. And you begin to live the way your soul was designed to all along. If this message spoke to you, even a little, I hope you'll stay with me on this journey. Take a moment to like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next teaching. And if you want to share this with someone who needs to guard their peace again, trust that nudge. It might be exactly what their spirit has been waiting for. Thank you for being here. I'll see you in the next episode.